and analyze issues on several aspects of Nigeria's polity. And basically, you're also part of the conversation based on the comments you're able to, in terms of giving your own perception to the topics I will reel out here. You give us your perception in the comment section. So kindly subscribe, like, and share. First of all, bayo onanuga was in an interview yesterday via Arise Television with Charles Ayagolu, where he disclosed to us how the presidency or the Nigerian security operatives were able to secure the release of the Iruku church members. Now, it was actually quite, would I say, a little bit disturbing. I don't know if he understood what he was saying when he made the statement he made. He kind of through his interpretation, insinuated that if the Nigerian government actually wants to end this, to know what to do. We have heard governors tell us that they know where these guys are, they know who they are, they even know their family members. Remember, the Zamfara state governor has actually disclosed that to us when he was accusing the Minister of State for Defense, Bello Matawale, about selling weaponry to Bokoharam and bandits. I don't like to use the term bandits. They're like literally terrorists. So I don't know why the Nigerian government likes to refer to them as bandits. To me, they're not bandits, they're terrorists, because what they do is terrible. They commit mayhem, they rape, they kill, they maim, they pillage. So I don't necessarily call them bandits, but apparently there's how the Nigerian government likes to use certain words to cover up the atrocities of these agents of darkness wearing human skin. Okay, so the Tinubu-led presidency has disclosed that operatives of the Department of State Services and the military established contact with the terrorists to secure the release of 38 victims abducted from a church in Iruku, Ekiti local government, Kwara State. Okay, this was a statement made by the special advisor to the President on Information and Strategy, Mr. Bayo Onanuga. I'd like us to take a very brief listen to Mr. Bayo Onanuga when he made his statement. Again, I will say that it's like Mr. Bayo Onanuga did not understand what he was implying when he made that statement. So let's listen to him.
And the military were involved in the rescue efforts. I think they got in contact with the bandits to release those people unarmed. And I think finally on Sunday, they were able to get them out unarmed.
So they basically know who they are.
Well,
when you say rescue them,
yeah,
did they actually physically go there and get them out?
People, at the risk of revealing how they do their work, they do have a way of tracking these people.
Right.
So they know what's going on at any point in time. What sometimes restrains them from going after them is the risk of collateral damage.
Of course.
They go about abducting our people and they use them as shield so that they will not be attacked. So they don't just want to be attacking them, they need to be sure that they are not using our people as a kind of a shield.
But if the government did not attack them in order to rescue these people, how did they get them released? Because I mean, it seems almost...
They got in contact with them.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is that it seems almost perverse for people to abduct people and then a few years later
they have a way of contacting them.
You mean they pay the money?
Not paying them. They know the risk. If they keep those people with them and they're saying release them, they know that the next thing will be for going to embark on a kinetic action and attack their base.
Yeah, but they killed people at the church.
They're risky.
That makes
if you attack their base, you can kill those.
No, I understand that.
Yeah.
But I mean, what people are curious to know, because it is not the government who are directly under threat, it's the people. And the people have to know how you go about doing these things in order to shore up their own defense.
I think that's left for the people to discover what that means.
All right, so what this whole thing is to be honest with you, means that banditry, kidnapping, and terrorism has been a means through which the government or certain elements within the government controls the political and certain political elites who are currently in power. They use terrorism to control them, to bargain. If they refuse to align with some of the initiatives they want to implement, if the president is not willing to adhere to it, they would force his hand. It happens in most instances. Sometimes it could also be a strategy from the presidency. okay, that in order to create a sense of panic and fear and look for some international aid from their European counterparts, which could be money, partnership, or something, they don't mind their people being collateral damage to achieve this. Again, a couple of persons actually have different ways of analyzing this. I want you to understand something, that when it comes to politics, they don't care about human lives so long as it doesn't affect them. The only time this would be something significant to them is if they are directly affected. Do you understand what I am saying? So if they are not directly affected, I don't think they would bother about it. They wouldn't care. That's the unfortunate thing. That's what we have come to realize over time. So what does this actually stipulate, or what does this actually say? It means that if there is a political will to handle insecurity in this country, they would. The security agencies know where these individuals are hiding or where they habitate, where they reside. They just don't want to do anything about it. Either that, or certain persons are using those people as leverage to control certain things from the executive, from the government. And we do know that you don't negotiate with terrorists. You don't let them give you terms and conditions for how you intend to govern your country or administer activities in your country. So it tells you that there's a deliberate effort to allow those guys to continue to do what they're doing to control certain people. The unfortunate thing is that innocent people are being killed in the process and slaughtered like, I don't know how to I don't know what other word to describe it. Bayo onanuga literally just disclosed to us that our security operatives know how to get those guys. They know the kind of persons to contact. They know the kind of persons to meet up with to get the relevant information about where these people reside. They even know how community members in where these people operate or habitate, how they shield them and protect them. In other words, if they want to catch them, they would. We've seen videos on social media where some persons within the enclaves of this terrorist would, on their own, sit down, call the police who are on the highway or the military men who are stationed on certain outposts on the highway, tell them they are coming. So those ones will help them clear the road. So if there are travelers who intend to pass the same route that these terrorists want to pass, they will tell the travelers to wait and park, that these guys are passing through. See, there is a systematic chain of processing. It's a business, it's a lucrative business for certain individuals, and it is also a religious enterprise. It's stirring, it's stuck in our face, whether we like it or not. The system has allowed these individuals to continue to weaponize this nefarious institution over time, that they have become overwhelmingly burdensome, that the government of the day no longer knows how to control it. Let me tell you, there's this series I'm watching. What's the name of the series? Oh, it's actually on Netflix. Let me try and check it out, because it will be part of the series. And yes, Homeland, season 8. Go and watch it. You would understand what I'm talking about. I'm not advertising the series, but it describes precisely the network, the chain, and the activities in collaboration with certain governments internally and externally. Now, when it gets to a point where they can no longer control the narrative, they have to work in tandem with this guy so they're not exposed. And so whatever nefarious agenda they have would be actualized. So in season 8 of Homeland, if you've not watched it, there's this guy they called Jalal, his Jalal Akani. So his father and basically the United States of America, DSS or CIA have a certain kind of agreement. The agreement was there's a faction, I think, in the Taliban or something like that, and they want some of them to be released. So they said there should be a ceasefire, which the father of this Haqqani actually corroborated. But there are some factors, both from Pakistan and the US as well, that were involved in ensuring that that doesn't take place, because they just wanted chaos and mayhem to create a sense of narrative or create chaos somehow that would involve certain conversations between the US and some, Now, something happened in the process. They were supposed to, the US and the Pakistani president were on a plane traveling together. It was basically a mechanical fault, nothing personal, just a mechanical fault, actually, and the plane crashed. So the narrative this Taliban or terrorists were trying to put out there was that they were the ones that shot them down. Now, Jalal's father, who actually signed the peace deal, was not the one who actually brought down that plane that was actually conveying the United States of America president and the Pakistani president and a couple of others on that helicopter. But what happened was the fact that they needed to get the black box. Without the black box, there is no narrative that could be put out there. So it would seem as if these terrorists were able to kill the US president. And to them, it's an armor. It's something of prestige. So this person planned it in such a way that Jalal's father took the fall. He wasn't the one that shot down that plane, but he was killed. So the son decided to take that glory to himself. The son now said that he was the one that shot down the plane of the US president and the Pakistani president. And trust me, he now amassed a lot of army. People were literally worshiping him. Do you know what it takes to bring down the American president? It tells you that you're powerful. He got a lot of army on his side. Now, the certain persons that were controlling these guys initially, trying to control the narrative, went to meet him to say, why would you claim something that you were not responsible for? Why would you claim that you were the one that brought down the US plane, right? And he says, so it doesn't matter. And the person was trying to tell him it matters. We cleaned you up. We told you to take over your father. We wanted to even help you kill your father to put you in charge. So do as we told you. Stop this nonsense. Go and hide and let this whole thing dissolve. Guy said no. And he took her upstairs somehow. And you need to see the number of persons this guy is actually dictating. The persons who love him, who are showing him some kind of support. And he told her that, you see, those people, I cannot hide. They would do anything for me. She now had to go back to her father to say, the monster we have created seems to be the boss. We have to work along with him to protect ourselves. So I'm telling you this. I may not get some of the trinkets of a story right. What I mean is the weaving the pattern, the sequence of the series. But what I'm trying to tell you is that the government is very much aware of what's happening. There's a collaboration between these guys. It's an enterprise. It may be that the persons who started this no longer know how to control these people. They don't know what to do anymore in controlling them. It may be that's what it takes, actually. So the problem now is they don't know how to handle them. They don't know how to control them. These guys have eroded them, so they have to go by the command and dictates of these guys. There are also certain persons like Sheikh Gumi who know who these guys are and how to speak with them and how to locate them. But Sheikh Gumi has been advocating for them, literally advocating for them. All this while he's been advocating for them, saying that it's better to give them amnesty, to integrate them, to make them feel welcome. And Nigerians are angry with the comments he's been making, visiting several media houses, and they'll be asking the security agencies to arrest this man for questioning because they feel he's a terrorist sympathizer, and there is something he knows that the Nigerian government seems to be afraid of possibly arresting him because they don't know what would happen. But it tells you that there are certain elements who seem to be more powerful than the government, or possibly dictate how the government reacts to issues like this, because there's been a sporadic, incessant network and activities of these individuals in several communities coming close to the southwest and even the southeast. I'm sure you've already heard about activities being cited by these Fulani terrorists having to infiltrate certain communities in the southwest and also in the southeast. And you would think that based on the searchlight on them and the condemnation, the global condemnation on these individuals, that they would try to hide or limit how much of these atrocities they come into. No, they are very voracious, more brazen, and do not care. So bayo onanuga just disclosed to us that our security agencies have persons that can contact these guys, and if they can do that, it means they can trace them and wipe them out. But he's saying that sometimes they use innocent civilians as a shield to protect themselves, and so that's why they cannot bomb their hideouts. For how long? Okay, all right. Now you know that Sheikh Gumi has been speaking lately, and he said that if Nnamdi Kanu shows some sense of remorse, he will advocate for his release. He says Nnamdi Kanu, who is the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, whom the Nigerian government has proscribed as a group, said that if, for example, Nnamdi Kanu decides to be a non-state actor, decides to work together with the government, and actually acts humble and acts for peace, that he would be one of the front runners to ensure that the administration of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu grants him some kind of pardon. Wow, how influential of Sheikh Gumi. Meanwhile, IPOB has said that Orji Uzor Kalu is amongst those who conspired with Tinubu to confine Nnamdi Kanu in Sokoto prison. Basically, IPOB made the allegation while responding to Kalu's remarks that the activities of Nnamdi Kanu led to the death of 30,000 individuals in the southeast. Kalu is a former governor of Abia State. He made the claim while appearing on the economic losses as a result of the prolonged agitation and violent confrontations linked to the IPOB movement. However, the group's spokesperson, Emma Powerful, in a statement on Tuesday, dismissed the claims describing Orji Uzor Kalu as a liar. He stated that Kalu's remarks are entirely fabricated and part of a deliberate campaign to undermine IPOB and Nnamdi Kanu. According to him, the IPOB struggle has remained non-violent despite the Nigerian government employing infamous security forces to arrest, torture, forcibly disappear, and carry out extrajudicial killings of numerous IPOB members. So again, they're calling out Orji Uzor Kalu to say that he's part of the Igbo elites who conspired with the executive to ensure that Nnamdi Kanu is taken to Sokoto prison. If you joined my live about 2 days ago, I'm sure you heard Barrister Fred Nzako give us details of the ambiguities inside the judgment reeled out by Justice James Omotosho and the areas that can be punctured, utilized by the consultation team, the legal consultation team of Nnamdi Kanu for his appeal. A lot is actually unveiling and a lot is actually happening. There are a lot of back and forth. When I mean back and forth, disparities in absorbing the judgment reeled out at Nnamdi Kanu. Some persons say it's okay. Some persons say no, it's a travesty of justice. The victims of those who supposedly carried out the acts of Nnamdi Kanu under the guise of unknown gunmen or ESN or Biafran Liberation Army or the Nigerian military, they've all given their experiences and the fact that they are victims of the mayhem that occurred in the southeast when all of that rampage was ongoing, and a couple of them feel that indeed Nnamdi Kanu is supposed to remain in Sokoto custody, while a couple of others believe that Nnamdi Kanu is a light, a hope to the southeastern region, and that whatever it is that's happening with him was expected to happen, and that they will come out victorious. Well, let's see how the case proceeds. A legal expert will have to give us a different angle through which the case of Nnamdi Kanu ought to have been handled, and there are expectations that his legal team will stop appearing on the press and rather focus on putting up a strong appeal. So it's a different thing having to meet up with press appearances, granting interviews, and having to make it seem as if it's an Igbo agenda. Agreed, let's just say, take it as it is, that there is an agenda, all right, against a particular ethnic group. But Nigerians are saying that you need to come together and put a very airtight, strong appeal. Make sure that you look through the judgment carefully and put up a strong appeal, so a tougher sentence beyond life imprisonment is not handed down on Nnamdi Kanu. Most times when cases like this get to the Supreme Court, it's very difficult for some of the convictions to be overturned. So the appeal must literally be very pungent, very airtight and locked to give Nnamdi Kanu possibly another chance to live in being free without having to remain within the shackles of the federal government's system. Okay, so that's basically what happened. And another interesting factor is that the insecurity pervading the nation is worrisome, and Nigerians are saying we're tired. We can no longer continue with this kind of lifestyle where nobody can close their eye and sleep. Some Nigerians are advocating for everyone to arm and equip themselves and no longer allow this terrorists to come, kill them for nothing, and no form of defense is put out. So we're seeing pictures and videos of certain persons with one form of arm or the other, either a gun or a machete or a knife or a shovel or a hoe. They're taking all of this wherever destination they're heading to. So if unfortunately they come across this terrorist, they know how to defend themselves. But a situation when it gets to that point could devolve to anarchy. It tells you that that nation is stateless. It has no administrative tenacity to handle internal issues, and people have decided to take it upon themselves to protect themselves, and they can't take laws into their hands, because when persons like this have access to weapons for no reason, without even having to ask questions or even take the person to court, once you just see someone is a Fulani, you literally think that they're the Fulani terrorists who have been terrorizing you, and you lynch and kill them. You remember the Uromi killings? It was because of something like this, when the community had been pushed and pushed to the wall over time, and they have no way of defending themselves. Once they see you and you have some mannerism or disposition that seems like there is something obviously wrong with you, they will definitely not let you go. That's what happened with the Uromi killings. So because of the kidnappings across the country, governors have convened an emergency session while the school lockdown rises. Most unity schools have locked down. Some federal government colleges have locked down, especially those in the north. And it's a worrisome development. The governors had to meet and they're discussing on how they can strengthen the borders, especially the southwest governors. Just very recently, yesterday, they met together and they're discussing how they can strategically place measures that would ensure these individuals no longer have access to their communities. We heard very recently that they were able to capture 70 of them across certain communities in the southwest, and most of them were from Niger and other Sahelian countries. They seem to be providing intel to their terrorists. So when they tell you these guys are here, you better believe it. Meanwhile, there's the constitution review moves to 36 state house of assemblies that has been looked into as well. There's also tightened security in Lagos schools and its environs because of the intelligence report they have gotten about these guys heading on to the southwest. So again, these are very terrible circumstances, but Nigerians who are dogged and very hardworking, very would I say positive minded, are hoping that things will turn out fine in the long run. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu was seen in a meeting with the top executives within his cabinet on handling security. So there are talks about the American Catholic Church students, who remains about 251 of them or thereabout, and that they need to be released as well. Let the same incident that happened with Chibok not repeat itself with those girls, where some persons escaped and some persons couldn't escape and they were taken away, and the Nigerian government can no longer have access to those girls. So if you've allowed non-state actors to have a form of prominence within communities and no dispensation of justice is meted out on these guys, they would carry on like most of the activities they're doing is normal and they wouldn't pay for it. No law, no competent jurisdiction has sentenced any one of them. So that's basically the kind of society Nigerians have found themselves. While on social media, they're going out and calling on the government to wake up to its responsibility of protecting lives and property and not just politicking up and down. Atiku Abubakar, in the midst of this melee, has actually defected to the ADC. Now, there are also pleas and calls that Peter Obi should also officially join the ADC and deputize Atiku. That's the only way he may actually smell the presidency, because the propaganda seems to have worked in some quarters against him, that it doesn't look promising. But some people say, I will vote Peter Obi, whether it's promising or not, I will vote for him. Others believe that he should deputize Atiku. He will give Atiku some insight into economic development and how they can handle insecurity. And it will be a powerful team, possibly way stronger than they were together in 2019. Well, I'd like to know what you think about most of the conversation that we have heard. Like I said, a lot of people have different narratives as to the whole case ongoing with insecurity and the Nnamdi Kanu situation. A couple of people also believe very much that the insecurity in the country is heavily politicized and that the government of the day either doesn't know what to do, has no clue as to what to do, or they're doing something albeit very slow, maybe because they're overstretched. They do not have enough personnel on ground to help them fight these guys. And these guys hide underground most times whenever you get to wherever it is they're residing. So it's difficult for you to make out time yourself to know that you have been surrounded or you have been ambushed. That's how it works. But hey, let's see. It is quite a welcome development. While all this is going on, I would like to know your comment and your thoughts. Give me your perception to the issues. I'm actually going through another live, but this is Estic Media on YouTube. Kindly like, share, and comment. Be part of the conversation. I will always update you on happenings across the globe, specifically Nigeria, and give you painted like laudable scenario for you to understand precisely what is on ground. Bye for now.